Well, here we are live. It's after Christmas, and maybe you got what you wanted. I hope you got great gifts, and maybe you got an Amazon gift card. That was one of the popular things in my house, and my son-in-law, they were able to get some Amazon gift cards, and so they're really looking forward to what they're going to be able to do and buy. And it's I'm getting a little bit of resonance in my microphone in the room here because today we're going to do a little restringing of a guitar. And so we have here a guitar, we've got a ukulele, we've got some strings, and we're going to have some fun. We're gonna restring this guitar. We're missing the G string here, so we've got the E, the A, the D. We're missing the G, the B. We have the B and the high E. But we're going to take all these strings off and go ahead and restring that. And so I'm looking forward to going through that process with you. If you have a guitar, and this is one of the things that I've seen in many homes when I go into it and they have a guitar, might be on a stand, might be leaning up against the wall, and it may be just part of their decor. But it's a sad thing when I go to get that guitar, and there's two things that I'm going to find. One is that the strings are really old and rusty, and it is no fun to play. And it sounds terrible, by the way, when your strings are dirty, rusty, corroded. And the other thing is that it's out of tune. And so I do have a tuner that we're going to go through. This is a fairly new one for me. This is the real tuner, and I've really been enjoying this one. Um, and it's got some interesting features because not only do I play guitar, but I play bass and ukulele, and this actually has different settings. And finding a digital tuner like this that actually will pick up those really low frequencies of a bass guitar, it's hard to find. Well, this one has that. It also has settings for regular guitar, like this Perry guitar we have here. I actually have this highlighted. This is the combo. We've got the guitar. There's the tuner. There's the guitar learning system, the Chord Buddy, the guitar learning system that comes with that. So I've got that highlighted in the carousel, but this tuner will work for guitar, bass, ukulele, violin. There's a lot of different instruments that this is set for, but there you can change that, and we'll take a look at that in a little bit. And so we're going to go through some of the things that we've got, and I'm just going to tell you kind of what's coming up because we've got the Chord Buddy, and once we get this guitar strung, restrung, I'm going to go through then and show you how the Chord Buddy works. And so there's the complete package. There's just the Chord Buddy alone. So if you have your own guitar already and you're going to restring it or string it or use it, then definitely make sure you get a tuner. And if you don't know how to play, the Chord Buddy is the best learning system out there. And then we're going to be using these Martin strings. And these strings come in different gauges. When we get to that point, we'll talk about that a little bit. And then, of course, the microphone that I'm using to pick all of this up is a condenser microphone. It happens to be the MXL 990. And so if you're not right up on it, it still works. Let me cough. Okay, unmuted again. All right. So I don't have to be right up on it. And so it's really good for this type of application where I don't want to be right up against the microphone. I want to be back a ways, and actually it'll pick up an instrument. So when we go and we actually play the guitar and the ukulele, we'll have that available as well. It is mounted on a toner boom arm, and that is the T20 boom arm. And really solid. And then I've got a couple of other microphones, some toner microphones. And I've got some video where we can actually compare using the computer audio, the audio built into a webcam, and then these different toner microphones. So as you're using the different microphones and condenser. Those are all condenser microphones, with the exception of one. No, they're all condenser microphones. Condenser microphones use an electric current, and then you don't have to be right up on them. Dynamic microphones, you have to be really close. They don't use a current to power them, so you have to be right up close to those microphones for them to sound good. Now, if you have something like this MXL 990, which uses this little cable down here, which is called an XLR cable, so it looks like this, then you'll need to convert that, which is an analog signal, into a digital. And in that case, I use either the Focusrite Solo, which I have this connected up to, or the Ceramonic Smart Rig. And that is the Ceramonic Smart Rig is right here. The cable plugs in here, the analog cable, and then there's a digital cable out. This one happens to be USB-C, but they also have it in Lightning and miniature USB, whatever that small one is. And also the aux plug to plug that into your computer, and that's got a jack for monitoring on the headphones. So the Ceramonic Smart Rig is just one of those things that I've been using. And then, of course, I'm always using the iPad Pro, actually, to manage these streams. And actually, I use it a lot for music. We use a program called Music Stand. And so all of my music that I play is digital here on this iPad, and which is really nice. You can actually make notes and keep those, and then just swipe through the songs as you play them. So I don't have to have paper music, and it's a really low profile look. And so those are some of the things that we'll be talking about, including I am using a new keyboard, the Logitech MK850. And one of the things I like about this is these little white buttons here, it's switchable. So I can go between my HP Envy X360 computer and then switch over and go right to the iPad. And then I can also hook it up to my phone. So I can use this one keyboard for not only my computer and iPad, but phone as well. So that's handy. And then, of course, it does have a mouse. So this is all Bluetooth connected. Really, really handy the way it goes. And then, of course, I do have both the Bose SoundLink, which we use regularly. This is great when we were doing our holiday party with the family and playing games around the table. We could just use the phone, connect directly into the Bose SoundLink, and it is an excellent speaker. And Bose, of course, makes really good sounding stuff. It's being charged up right now by this Halo battery. This is the Halo Bolt, and this is something that has come in really handy. Of course, it has the two USB outs. It's got its own charger. You plug it in. This is actually designed to jumpstart a car, and I tell you what, I have used it to jumpstart my car when I left the lights on. This particular version also has a 110 inverter, which when I'm out playing music, I have an effects pedal, and in another stream, I'll go through the Electro Harmonics box that I use, which is a synthesizer box. And it's designed specifically for the bass, and it gives me some really cool sounds and some great, really good low end. And but it does require power. It doesn't have a 9-volt battery in it like a lot of pedals. So I have to plug it in. Well, there's more cords and cables. So with this 110 inverter, I can plug this right into the box, not use any cables, and it will power for a long time. So those are just some of the things that we'll be going through here. But I really want to get into restringing the guitar, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Let me just show you. Let me switch the camera here so you can take a look. All right. So here we have we got the guitar. So I've got my ukulele here as well, the Chord Buddy, and the Martin strings. So we'll be using these Martin guitar strings. And guitar strings, these are acoustic strings. And so you can see it says authentic acoustic. And I'm really a big fan of Martin strings. There's a lot of different types of strings out there. Of course, you've got nylon strings if you have a classical type guitar. And so a classical guitar has nylon strings. You can kind of think of it, it looks like fishing line. And so this ukulele has nylon strings. And so a classical guitar will have strings like that. And then the acoustic guitar, the standard guitar, will use these uh, metal strings, and they come in different weights. And then there's also strings designed for electric guitars. So I'm a big fan of Martin strings. These are custom lights, so they're very light strings. And there's a gauge here on the side or on the back of the package that'll actually tell you what the diameter is on that in both standard and metric system. So that 0.11, that's that high E string, and then the 0.052, that is the low E string. And so these are light strings, and I recommend using light strings when you're first learning how to play guitar. And if you want more volume, or you use a heavy pick and you really want to project, then you'll want medium or heavy strings. But light strings are a really good way to go. They're easier to press. And strings, by the way, are one of those things, they're a consumable item for your guitar. You will be changing strings. You should change strings regularly. And that's why I want to go through the process and give you a little video that you can come back to and take a look at how we restring a guitar, and particularly how I like to restring my guitar. Some people will take all of the strings off and then come back and put all the strings back on. What I actually do is I start with one string, take it off, and then just progressively work my way through and replace the strings. So in this case, again, this guitar, this is the Perry guitar, and let me get that highlighted in the carousel. This comes as a kit. So Perry by Chord Buddy. So Travis Perry is the inventor and owner of Chord Buddy. He won on Shark Tank. Some of you may remember. Got a deal with Robert Herjavec. And so he has these guitars, and they're really nice guitars, a good starter guitar. One of the things that I found is that there is a shortage in the US of beginner guitars, of entry-level guitars. But there's plenty at Chord Buddy. So I was actually talking with Travis, and they've got plenty in the warehouse ready to ship. So you can go ahead and order your guitar, Chord Buddy, and tuner, everything that you need, including the books, and be able to learn how to play guitar. And when we get this one strung, I'll show you how easy it is to play. It is a lot of fun with that. So with the strings, so these are Martin strings. I like Martin, as I mentioned, and I've been using those Martin strings for years. And I'm going to get my keyboard out of the way so we get some room. And so this is the head of the guitar. You've got the nut, the neck, and the body sound hole, and down here you have the bridge. And so the strings have a ball on one end, which will go down here in the bridge, and we'll actually pull these pins out, and then go ahead and string those up. And so, and then what I mentioned, what I like to do is I like to actually I like to take one string off at a time, and then actually kind of get it tuned. And one of the reasons is there's a lot of tension that happens from the nut up here, between the nut and the bridge. And so when you start taking the strings off, you release the tension on the neck, and it can actually bow a little bit. And then it's probably not going to cause a problem, but in my experience, I just want to keep that tension on the neck as I go through and put the new strings on. So I'll take one string off, I'll put it on, tune it, and then work my way down. So I'll start at the top E string. And so let's go ahead and let's open up this package here. And so the Martin strings, very lightweight packaging. Also a fan of Diodario and Ernie Ball strings. Just depends on your instrument and personal preference. But I've been playing with Martin strings for a long time. All right, so I don't want to damage this one too much because I want to be able to read it later, but maybe I'm just going to have to tear into it. All right, so let's do that. Get my scissors here. All right, so let's just go ahead and get that opened up. All right, so here we go. I've opened the package of Martin strings, and you can see that they are all packaged here individually in little pouches. So we've got 6 strings, the E, the B, the E, the B, the G, the D. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this low E string, the A, the D, the G, and the B. And I'm just going to set those right here for now. And the first string that we're going to start with is we're going to start with the high E string. All right. So I'm going to just release this one. And you can tell if you're turning it the right way. Just pluck it. Oh, see, that's tightening and loosening it. All right, so we are loosening that string up. Now, some people will go ahead and cut the string, but what I like to do is just loosen it up until I can kind of get it off the tuning peg there and take that off. And then we've got this loose string, and as I mentioned, it goes here down in this through in the bridge, and there's a little peg here, and so we take that out, and there's a little metal ball on the end. And so it's probably a little bent, so it's going to take a little bit to take it out. So there, we took that out, and you can see this little metal ball on the end of the string. So we have one end that's got this metal ball, and then it's just the string, and it's just a raw wire at the other end. So that is a high E string, and it is a dead string for us. So I'm just going to kind of wind it up, and we'll just throw that away later. There's really not much to do with old strings, so let's wind them up and throw them away. Okay, so then here we have this is the E string, and you want to take a look and make sure that you're using the right string. So here we have the high E string, and you can see it says 0.011 or 0.29 millimeters. So this is the high E string, and you can see that Martin's put a little note here. You can see the thicker strings at the bottom and then the thinner strings. So it's letting you know you have the right string. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and take this one out of the bag. And so here's the little metal end. This is the part that's going to go in the hole down in the bridge. And so just take that out. I want to make sure I'm not kink it. So carefully take that out. And I'm just going to fit it right down into the hole, and then take the peg. I'm going to put that in there. So I'm going to put that peg down, give it a little tug, and make sure that it's snug. All right. And so now we're going to feed it through on the top end here. And I'm going to let's just take a little bit closer look here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little, we're going to feed this through. And now the question is, how much slack do you put on here? Because you don't want to have too few wines around the tuning peg, but you don't want to have too many as well. So one way to do that is to pull it fairly tight and give yourself a couple of fingers here of so I've got 3 fingers, and I'm going to say that's probably going to be enough wines around the peg. And so then we're going to turn that around. And so we're starting to turn that, and you can see the string is winding around. And what I do is I wind it so that the part that I put through the peg is up, and I wind that around. Now it's going to want to pop off, and so I'm going to wind that around one time here. And then the first time that the loose end comes around, I'm going to actually put that underneath the string. So it went around the top on the first time, and now I'm going to put it on the bottom here. And in that case, it's going to give me a chance to give a little bit of tension on that so it won't come out. All right. And so put my finger there on the nut, get that tightened. And once you get it started, it's going to be okay, but it just takes a little bit. Be patient. You can use a string winder on the tuning key if you like, but since I do this not often enough, not being a pro musician, I don't mind just doing it myself on occasion here, tuning it, turning that peg around. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get this first string on, and then we're actually going to use that digital tuner. Now, when you buy the kit, when you buy the complete package, you buy the Perry guitar and learning system, you're going to get a tuner with it. And I loaned my Chord Buddy tuner out to a friend, so they would have one, and so that's where that one is right now. Okay, so now I've got a few winds around on this string, and it's probably going to come around one more time. And so I'm going to put that underneath. This is kind of like sewing in a way. So I just like to get a good, and then it just makes it nice. All right. So let's get that string up on the bridge. And there's a little groove right here that the string will hang in. And so I'll tune that up. Okay, so now we're going to use the digital tuner. So in this case, we're using the real tuner. And so I'm going to turn it on. All right, and so now you can see here, and right here, there's a little, that's actually a B for bass, and violin, ukulele, and we'll just cycle through until I get to the G. So now that's set for guitar. And then I can just clip that on here. And the way these digital tuners work is they work off of the vibrations. So it's a B, and we're working our way up. And don't worry about those little sounds, popping sounds. That is the string kind of resettling inside the bridge down here under that nut. So we're going to get this up to an E. All right. Okay, so now it's E, but it's E, but it's, you can see it's a little flat. I'm going to pull out an old tuning fork. Way back before digital tuners, I actually used a tuning fork like this. And we would hit that, put that on the bridge. You can hear that E there. So we're flat. All right, we're pretty close there. All right, so that gives us a pretty good approximation for the E. So now we've kept the tension on the neck as we've changed our first string out. And so then we're going to want to go ahead and trim off the excess. So just use the wire cutters on the pliers here. And that'll just give me a chance to trim that string. All right. Well, trim in well enough, so that's right. I'll just hit it right here. There we go. All right. So now we trim that, put that over with the other string that we're going to discard here. And I'm going to turn the tuner off. You can hold that, turn that off. So get that out of the way. So now we've got our first string changed. So now we're going to go through and take out the second string. All right. So we did the E string, so we'll set the paper out of the way. And so this is then the B string. So here we have the second string that we're going to change out. All right. And there we go. All right. So we're going to change this string out. This is the B string. And so let me remove this one from the guitar. And I want to keep an eye on the live stream here. And if you have any comments or questions, always open to those. All right, so let's get that string loose, the B string, second string. So again, there's a worldwide, or at least a U.S. shortage of entry-level guitars, beginner guitars, and at Chord Buddy, they do have plenty on hand in the warehouse. And I was talking to Travis Perry, the inventor and owner over at Chord Buddy, and they've got plenty of guitars to go out. So here we've just removed the B string, and we'll get that changed out here. So we are going through and just taking a look at changing out guitar strings and what it takes. So here we have our Martin guitar strings, and again, they're all individually packaged. And so now we're taking out the B string, and let's get that undone here. And so again, we're going to put that into the bridge. So I pulled the string, pulled the pin out, and I'm going to take the little the end of the string that has the little ball end there. I'm going to put that in. And now the peg does have a little channel, a little groove right here. And you want to make sure that that is against the string. So the string's going to come through and up there. So I'm going to put that down here. Seat that in. And then let's go back up. And we're going to get this through the hole in the tuning peg. Again, how much slack do you have? I do about 3 fingers. Gives you about 3 fingers worth, and that's about how much slack I'm going to have. And so now I'm just going to get this one started. Get that turned around. All right. So keep my finger on there. Let's get it turned around. And we'll keep some tension on there as we get it onto the tuning peg first time around. And tighten that up. Now again, I like to take and do 1 string at a time. And so you'll notice that there's still strings on this guitar. We're on the 2nd string. We started with the top string, the E string. We're using Martin acoustic strings, light strings. And we're getting this tuned up. So we took off. What happened is the G string had actually broken. And so now we're going to be changing out the strings. All right, so there we go. We got our first. And again, you're going to hear that little cracking and popping as the string sets within the bridge. So let me get this zoom out just a little bit here so you can take a better look. So as we're going through this, you can see we've got the head, the nut, the neck, and the bridge. And so we've got the strings with the little ball end here. We put that in. And as this string tightens up, it's going to reset. It's going to reseat right down here and start making some kind of popping sounds. So let's get the digital tuner back on. So again, we're using the real tuner, and it is set for guitar. So it's reading G, and there it is B, and that's a little flat. All right. And then that's pretty much in tune. And we'll check the E string. See, now it's flat. Now, new strings will stretch quite a bit as you are just get them first onto the guitar. They're gonna be they're gonna just stretch a lot. I'm gonna trim that in a little bit here, and so you're gonna tune it, and you're gonna tune it again, and tune it again, and so you see it's already gone flat on us. And so I like to keep working with it. That keeps the tension on the strings. Now, what happened here was this particular G string, it broke. And so there's a little remnant of it here. So I'm just going to take that off. And so now we've finished putting on the B string. So now we're going to go to the 3rd string, the G string. And again, I like the way Martin has labeled these strings. So it shows you this is the G string, and it's showing you on your guitar where it's going to go. And so this is the 3rd string, and we're going to go ahead and put that one on. So I'll take it out of the pouch. Again, here's the little ball end This is the raw end over here, and let that go. This is a really nice set of strings. I've been playing with Martin strings for many years. For the acoustic, they're probably about my favorite. And for electrics, it really varies on what kind of what preference I have. Martin strings on this Perry guitar from Chord Buddy. Again, if you're looking for an entry level guitar, there's a shortage in the U.S. of entry level guitars, and so Travis over at Chord Buddy has assured me that they have a warehouse full, and they're ready to ship. Got that highlighted in the carousel. You can order just the guitar, but I definitely recommend getting the entire Chord Buddy setup. It is actually the easiest way to learn guitar. You can get playing right away. It's not a cheat. Some people that are old school musicians, it's really not for them. But this is an easy way to learn guitar. So now we've got the G string. We're going to get that tensioned up here. And just make sure you get I don't want you to be missing anything here. There we go. And there we go. All right. So we're getting this tensioned up. And once we get a little bit of tension onto that, I'm going to put the tuner back on. You can see. So we're using the real tuner. This one is set for guitar. You can actually change it for bass, ukulele, violin, a number of different instruments. And since I play bass, I really like this one because I can set it to bass. And it is hard to get a tuner that will pick up those ultra low frequencies on a bass guitar. So here we go. We're getting this one tensioned up. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so it's picking up the vibrations. And we're D. And there we go. There's the G. Let's tighten that up. Get the tuner. You see where we're at? Okay. So that's pretty good. Let's check that B string. It's gone flat. And E string. All right, so we are halfway through with changing the strings, changing strings. So now we're going to change out the next string, which is going to be the D string here. And again, just strings are one of those things that you're going to go through. I recommend that the more that you play, especially if it's warm weather, and you get a lot of oils and perspiration on your hand, it's going to wear the strings out faster, and they will rust. And there's nothing more discouraging than going to your guitar and trying to play it with rusty strings. It feels bad and it sounds bad. And so we've got this one pulled up. Let's keep an eye here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one out. Pull this nut out. There we go. And remove this D string. And again, there's really not much that you can do with used strings. Just throw them away. And so just wind it up. Put that over there. And then let's take the next string. Martin really clearly labels these strings. So it is the fourth string. And these are light strings. And light strings are what I recommend for new players. And then if you start playing more, if you want to add volume, then using medium or heavy strings is a good way to go. But starting out with light strings, really good. And Martin makes fabulous strings. So we'll take that out of the package. And again, here's the ball end that's going to go into the nut down here. So I'll put that into the bridge, put the nut back down onto it. Again, the groove toward the string. And then let's get that through the tuning tag up here at the top. Now, so get that through. Again, how much string do you want? Too much or too little? I use about 3 finger widths worth. And so if I take 3 fingers and stick them on here, that's about how much I need to have some slack. And so there's enough winds around the tuning peg without too many. And so let's get that one tuned up here. Knock my mouse down. And so let's get that tuned up here. And send that underneath. All right. Keep an eye on this. All right. And so the string goes there. And get some tension on that. Get that tuned up. All right. So we are changing guitars on a Perry guitar by Chord Buddy. The Chord Buddy was invented by Travis Perry. He's down in Dothan, Alabama. You may remember he was on Shark Tank and won a deal with Robert Herjavec. And one of the things that he really wanted to do was make the Chord Buddy, and we do have that highlighted in the carousel. In fact, the complete guitar package here with the guitar, strings, tuner, picks, and the learning system, including the books. So we're getting that turned up there. Grab my mouse again. And so let's take a look. Now let's get put the tuner on there. Okay. So now this again is the D string. So we started with E, B, G, and this is D. So let's get that set up here. All right, we're in D range. Once that hits the middle, we know we're tuned. Right now this is a little flat and a little sharp. So we got the red right in the middle of the green, and there is. Okay, so we got the E string, B, G, a little flat. All right, G string. And the D string that we just put on. All right, looking good. So then let's set that one aside. We're going to change now. We just got 2 strings left, so we're going to change the A string out here. All right, it's kind of fun. Get that down, and so once we get that undone, just. All right, so let's make sure that everything is set here. All right. And so I thank you for joining me here as we're tuning this, they're changing these strings out on the guitar. And so we've got we're changing now the A string. And if you're looking for a guitar, the combo package from Chord Buddy really is a good way to go. You would get the guitar, the tuner, the Chord Buddy learning system, including the books. It's really depends on how fast you are at playing or at going through the course, but it's kind of a 2-month system. And you actually wean yourself off of using the Chord Buddy unit. And when we get this one strung up and tuned, we'll go ahead and show you how that Chord Buddy works. So I'm just pulling that pin out here. So you can change out this string, the A string. So I'll take it out, wind up this used string, and let's get into the package. Whoa, that came undone. I'm going to wind that up. Hey, I don't like having my strings all loose and unbound. Even though I'm just going to throw this away, I'm just going to wind it up here. And set that there. All right, and so now we are changing out our 5th string. So we've got this, the A string, and these are Martin light strings. You can see the package here. And these are acoustic strings. Make sure when you're changing your guitar strings, you're getting the right ones. So if you're using an electric guitar, you would use different strings than you would with your acoustic guitar. So we're using the A string here, so we'll take that out, and there is the ball. And I'm going to fit that down here and get my peg. And again, there's a little groove. You put that string side out, get that down in there, and put it through the tuning peg up here. Give myself about 3 fingers of slack. That's to me, that seems to be just the optimum amount where I have enough winds to hold it on, but not so many that you're just winding forever. But we are showing, we are changing out strings on a Perry guitar by Chord Buddy. Chord Buddy is the easiest way to learn guitar. Best learning system out there, and it is a system. It's not a cheat. You look at the buttons and you think, well, it's Guitar Hero, but it is not Guitar Hero in the sense that it's a cheat. You'll actually learn the rhythm by strumming, and then as you progress and strengthen your hand using the buttons, you'll start removing the Chord Buddy tabs, all fingers there, and then actually be playing right on the strings. So, but this is a lot of fun. I'm glad you joined me here. We're having fun just changing out strings on this guitar, and using Martin strings. I'm a big fan of Martin strings for many years. I've used those. So we've got our next string. We got the A string. We've got one more left. So let's get the tuner on there, and let's see where we're at. E, A. All right, and again, we're using the real tuner, which allows us to set for a guitar setting. And when I play bass, I change this over so it is for the bass, and use a 5-string bass. And then we'll actually use this on the ukulele. We've got a nice Luna tattoo ukulele here. And we'll show that. So let's get that. It's a little flat. Make sure we're in the A. All right. So we started with the E string, D, and a little flat. And the G string, looking good. D. Get that tuned up. And again, my style here is that we change one string at a time. We only take one off. And so this last string that we have here is the E string. So we have changed from the high E, and now we're down to the low E. So we're going to take that off. And then we're going to put the Chord Buddy on this so you can see how the Chord Buddy learning system works. And there really is no better way to learn guitar. So maybe you got a guitar for Christmas. Maybe you were hoping to get a guitar for Christmas. Maybe you got a gift card, an Amazon gift card, and you're going to want to use that. Well, those are all good things to do. Get a guitar And we're just showing you how to change the strings here, because strings are a consumable item on guitars. Don't go years and not change your strings. You won't be happy. It'll sound terrible. It'll play terrible. And then it's discouraging. And the guitars are only good if they get played. I didn't put a guitar stand in the carousel. I'll probably add that in next time. We're going to do some more music. We're actually going to focus on some bass stuff and show the electro harmonics unit and how I use that Halo battery, the Halo bolt. I do have that in the carousel, the Halo bolt, and how we use that in when we're out playing live. And so we've got the last string. This is the E string. This is the low E string. So let that unwind. We've got the ball end that's going to go in down here in the bridge. And then we're going to put the peg in. So put the string in, ball in, and put the peg in with the groove toward the string. Pull that up. All right. And so this is the last of the 6 strings that we're putting onto this Perry guitar. And we're using a real tuner. I've got that highlighted in the carousel as well. One of the things that if you're playing guitar, whether you have a guitar already or any instrument, if it's out of tune, that is really, really, really discouraging. So get your guitar, get a tuner for whatever your instrument is, but for your guitar, and then make sure that it's in tune when you're playing. And there's really clean strings, fresh strings, and an in-tune guitar are a couple of those secrets, a couple of those tips that will help you to be the musician that you want to be. So here we have the final string coming on, getting it tightened up. We'll check the tuning. And again, when you put on new strings, they're going to stretch. They're always going to stretch. And so having your tuner and checking it regularly as you're playing, even, you'll just be happier. It's easy. The digital tuners make it so nice. All right. And my peg's a little loose there. So let's get those seated in nicely. All right. Right, and here we go. We have got our tuner set to the guitar. We're tuning the E string here. So let's get that set. So this is the low E, A, B, D, G, B, is a little sharp, and E string. And that went way flat. So again, these strings are going to change often as the new strings will stretch, but they sound nice and bright and clear. So having a digital tuner is important, and now we've got that. So there we go. So now we have gone ahead and we've swapped out the strings on the Perry guitar. And here you go. So let's take a look and see. So I'm going to turn my tuner around so I can take a look at it here, because as we're playing now, we've changed out these strings, and as I mentioned, they're gonna change. You know, it's going to change as you're they're going to stretch, and so it's going to take a little bit of time for them to kind of stabilize. So as we put those on the guitar here, we're going to get those tuned. I'm using the real tuner, the digital tuner. It's going to keep me good there. And as over time as you play, you'll be able to hear and go, that string is out. So this thing is going to be, we're going to fight it here a little bit as we try to play, because these fresh new strings, and we've just changed these strings, they're gonna stretch and be a little bit out of tune. So I'm just going to keep that tuner on there so we can keep an eye on it. Digital tuners play off of the harmonics, the vibrations. All right, so now that we have put new strings on the guitar, and we're using the digital tuner to keep it in tune, I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like to put the chord buddy on. So let's switch again, and let's take a look at the chord buddy. So the chord buddy has these fingers, as they call them, and this part claps around the bridge or the neck right up here at the nut, and then there's little tabs with rubber feet that mimic fingers on the strings. And then as you begin to play and learn, then you actually start to remove the tabs off of the chord buddy and start using your fingers on the strings. And that's really the secret or the genius behind the chord buddy learning system. So I'm going to loosen this up, and we're just going to place that here on the guitar so you can see how this works. All right, so I'm going to get that seated on there. Now the chord buddy. Now this is the Perry guitar by Chord Buddy, and so we know that it'll work. But this will work on virtually every type of guitar. So I have I've got some different electrics, some different acoustics. I even have a Steinberger that has no head on it. So this is an electric guitar that has no head up here, and I have put the chord buddy on here, and it works just fine. So we're going to set this chord buddy on here. We got this tightened up, and then this is the G, the E minor, the C, and the D chord. Now you can play those independently on your strings, but when you put the chord buddy on, you're able to play those with just one finger. And what you're doing is you're going to learn the rhythm here, the strumming, while you're simply strengthening your hands using the buttons. So you use one finger here and another finger. So you use different fingers. So let's play the G. Look at that. So I'm using just that one finger. I'm going to do it this way so you can see. So that is the chord buddy on the Perry guitar that we've restrung. So you watch me put the Martin strings onto this chord buddy because one of the strings was broken, and changing a guitar strings regularly, great idea. You definitely want to be doing that because oh man, it just sounds so much better. Fresh strings. And so this is, now we're looking at the chord buddy itself. The chord buddy learning system includes, if you buy the full setup, and I encourage you, get the guitar, the chord buddy, the tuner, the learning system, the books, and you'll be playing guitar in no time. And what happens is as you're using the buttons here to play the chords, you're learning the strumming patterns. And then, so once you've kind of mastered that, because you know it's hard to multitask. You're trying to think, oh, I got to put my fingers on the strings. I got to remember the rhythm. And so what happens is you're trying to play a song, and it sounds like this. But here we're using the chord buddy to hold the strings down. The little tabs. So you'll start to remove the tabs and start using your fingers on the strings. So then once you progress, then you move on and you take the next tab out. And pretty soon you're not using any chord buddy at all. And so it's designed for you to be able to progressively remove the tabs until you've completely removed all of the tabs and you're playing on your own. So there's a complete learning system out within the chord buddy. So you get that and play. Now, I promised that I would also show you the ukulele because I am a fan of the ukulele. Ukuleles are very portable, of course, 4 strings, tuned a little bit different. And this is where I really like the real tuner again, because this one I can set specifically to ukulele. So I just going to swap through here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to change this out to the guitar, or to the ukulele. And so there we have our ukulele setting. And so let's swap that for you again. Let's take a look. So we're just going to put the digital tuner on, and this is set for ukulele. Because every one of your stringed instruments should be tuned. And now there is actually in here, I have there is a chord buddy designed specifically for ukulele. But right now what we're taking a look at is the Luna ukulele. You can see it's got this really nice pattern on there, the little tattoo, uh, and the ukulele is a fun instrument to play. So we've got it tuned up using the real tuner, and it is very simple to play. It's lightweight, portable, very affordable instrument. And very versatile. So a lot of things you can do with a ukulele. Can you make Japanese music with it? That's a great question, Matthew. I'm not really a music ethnologist. Is that what it is? Um, so I would imagine that whatever style you want to play, ukuleles you can use on just about any style. Now, it's not going to sound like a Kyoto or some of the other instruments that are out there, but you can have fun with it. Garden music, I like that. So you can make it kind of sound like a little bit like a flamenco or a classical style guitar. Nylon strings are easy on your fingers. And so it's easy, portable. Luna has been a brand that we've been using in our family for a long time. So that is some of the fun things. So we talked about some of the things like the Bose SoundLink that we use for our family. This is a Bluetooth speaker, and we used this for our holiday time when we were playing games around the table, able to hook this right up to the phone and play our Christmas songs. Good bass response. Bose has been really good to be able to take small speakers like this. So that is the one thing I use. I do, as we're playing music, I do use the reference headphones. So these are the K240 AKG semi-open back. They're a good reference headphone. Now, where we talked about the Bose having like really solid bass response, you're not going to find that here. This is going to be a fairly flat response. This is really good for editing music and podcasts. So I'm using those. But I just want to talk a little bit about some of these other microphones that we've got here. So Toner has come out with some different ones. So this particular model here, and I've got a video here where we can take a look at kind of the sound of some of these different microphones, like the 777. And let's go into some of these things here. So take a listen. Give a little bit of test. So here we are using the microphone built into the computer so you can get a little bit of an idea of what the sound is like when you're using the computer compared to the webcam, because now we're using the microphone built into the webcam. And so let's switch over and let's hear what it sounds like when we switch. The TC777 from Toner, integrated condenser microphone, plugs right into your computer. Pop filter, windscreen, shock mount, tripod for your tabletop, ready to go. It's a cute little microphone. All right, yeah. So this is a cute little microphone. So it's got the integrated USB cable. It comes with a shock mount. There's a windscreen that's built into or that attaches on here. The pop filter is built in. And so in this microphone, you want to speak into this front part of it here. And that we gave you a little demonstration of that one. And now I'll take a look at another toner microphone here, another tabletop microphone. And these are all condenser microphones. These two that I've shown you have these built-in tabletop tripods, shock mount. This one has an integrated pop filter that you can remove and use it there. But let's take a listen to using so right now we're using the microphone in the computer, but let's switch over to the so you can get a little difference in what that audio is. So this is the audio with the webcam. So using a Logitech C920, has the built-in microphone, and it is a step up from using your computer microphone. If you want to step up your audio game, to get yourself an external microphone, and something like the Toner TC30 is a great choice. It has a tabletop tripod, has a shock mount built into it, the microphone, and the pop filter, and there's a windscreen that you can use as well. So let's do a little comparison and see what it sounds like when we're using the Toner TC30. Now we're using the Toner TC30 microphone, and you can hear what it sounds like. And so this does have the integrated pop filter. And so microphone inside the computer, and then we're going to switch from the microphone in the computer to the microphone built into the webcam, and then we're going to switch back over to the Toner TC30 microphone. And now we're using the Toner TC30 microphone. If you want to up your game, get yourself a good microphone. Get yourself something that is going to capture your voice and represent you well in podcasts, in video conferencing, in videos that you're streaming out, anything that you're doing live or recorded. Get yourself a good microphone like one of the ones from Toner. Hey, D. Scott Smith here, signing off. Have a fabulous day. All right. And so now I wanted to show you how to really step up your game here. And this is the TC20 microphone from Toner. So this is a USB microphone. So it's got the it's going to have a USB cable that plugs in to the bottom of it here. So plug in, and this one comes with the shock mount and a really steady boom arm. In fact, it is the boom arm that I'm using. And then this is a condenser mic, means you don't have to be right onto it. But because it is an analog microphone using this XLR cable, you have to plug it into something like the Ceremonic Smart Rig, which translates that USB signal or translates into a USB signal from the analog signal. So that plugs in there. And in this case, I've got a USB-C because I like to plug this particular microphone directly into my iPad. And so in that case, I use the USB-C plug. But there are different types of connectors from the Ceremonic Smart Rig. But the Toner microphone, and so this is the TC20, so let's see what that one sounds like. Using the Toner TC20 microphone, and let's compare into the built-in webcam microphone. Logitech C920, great camera. Microphones are a step up from using your microphone, so now we're using the computer microphone. And this is what it sounds like when you're using the HP Envy X360 built-in microphone as compared to a real broadcasting microphone like the Toner TC20 broadcast microphone, studio microphone. using the T20 boom arm and going into a converter, in this case, the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. Hey, D. Scott Smith here, signing off, and look forward to talking to you all again. Have a fabulous day. All right, so that is the TC20 microphone. This is a broadcast microphone, great studio microphone. You definitely, I can definitely recommend this one, as well as now there's a similar one to this, the Q9, which is a USB microphone. It's actually the one that my daughter uses when we're doing broadcasts together. So let's take a listen to that. The microphone that is built into the computer, into my Hewlett Packard Envy X360, and then the Logitech C9 camera also has a built-in microphone. And so this is what it sounds like. And then with Q9 microphone, USB microphone, easily connects to your computer, recognized right away. You're able to plug and play, use the boom arm, the pop filter, the windscreen, the shock mount, but most of all, the Q9 microphone itself. And I think you'll agree with me that this does sound much better. So up your game, use a quality microphone like one of the studio microphones from Toner. In this case, I would recommend using the Q9 microphone. Hey, D. Scott Smith here, signing off. Have a fabulous day. Cheers. All right, so those are some of the different microphones that are out there. Toner makes some really nice microphones, and they're affordably priced. They sound good. You could hear what those are like. And then I'm using the MXL 990 and got that connected up to the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. Gen 2 and Gen 3 is out there now, and definitely recommend using a good quality microphone, whether you're using the one of the broadcast studio microphones from Toner, like the Q9 or the TC20, this MXL 990. Condenser mics allow you to be away from the microphone. Dynamic mics require that you're right up close to them. So in this case, I am using this MXL 990 and actually have it on the Toner T20 boom arm. So it's a great combination. And then, as I said, we just went through earlier, and we're going to wind down this stream for today for this post-Christmas show with the Chord Buddy. So this is the Perry guitar. It is part of the combo set, and we do have that highlighted. I do have that now highlighted in the carousel. We went through and changed strings. We were missing the G string had broken on this thing, so we went through and we put on new Martin strings, and we're keeping it in tune with the real tuner. And so I'm going to put that on here, and I'm just going to check these out, make sure that we are still in tune. All right. I had it on ukulele mode, so there we go. And check that tuning. Overcompensate there. All right. And that A string. And sounding good, good. Love these new strings. Love Martin strings. All right. Hey, with that, I am going to sign off. I'm going to wind down today's broadcast. We have been having fun with the Chord Buddy, restringing the guitar, and the Chord Buddy system here. And I just want to wish everyone a happy 2022 as we come in and wind down 2021. So, with that, I want to say to everybody, have a fabulous day and enjoy your friends and family. Hey, oh, and remember, and I just want to throw this out on Thursday. Actually, we're going to have Travis Perry live here, and he's going to be playing some songs on the Chord Buddy as well. So look forward to that.